Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi, hello, good evening, students. Sorry for the last video. I hope it worked out fine for you all. Now, this is going to be the new chapter which we are going to start today. This is chapter 11, that is strategic performance and excellence. As you can see, we are having a half chapter of 11, that is for this week, which it is week 10 as per the syllabus. Now, strategic and performance excellence, that is, this chapter is basically dealing with the basis of all managerial activities relating to total quality management. That is, a leadership is acknowledged as the driver of the effective total quality focus. But this chapter focuses on the planning processes while leaving the details of leadership theory to be addressed later on in the remaining chapter, that is chapter 13. But as such, one of the key is to deploy plans and quality efforts throughout the organization. And then the strategic focus is to provide alignment of quality goals and plans with an overall strategy. The firm applies. Now, the poor deployment of quality can generally be traced back to poor strategy development and alignment. So, if you can just in snapshot understand, the internal environment of any organization must also develop and encourage alignment as well as the focus on doing quality as the grassroots at the grassroots levels. To focus on what to do, how to do, when to do it, and how strategy leadership must actively involve, this is what is that we are going to see. Now let us understand and see, define strategy. A strategy is the pattern of decisions that determines, then reveals an organizational goals, that is, policies and plans to meet the needs of its stakeholders. Then strategic planning is the process of envisioning the organization's future and developing the necessary goals, objectives, and action plans to achieve that future. So please be very clear and understand this as strategy and strategic planning, how it is done. If you take back a look and just open your textbooks, you can get a very good example of a company called Cargill Corn Milling. That is how they were making those strategical moves as far as strategy and strategy development and planning. Where to play, how to play, what resources are needed to play and when to play. Which customers, which segments, and all this important value chains described in that particular case. So I would request you all to just have a good glimpse and read this case of Cargill Corn Milling, which is given in your textbooks. Open your textbooks and just have a good read. But now, for the time being, I will continue with my video talking about the key practices for a strategy focus and performance excellence. As we have been seeing in the earlier chapters also, what could be the practices for a strategic focus? That is, understanding the organization's operating environment and its relationship with the customers, suppliers, partners, and stakeholders. And then understand the competitive environment, the principal factors that determine the success of the organization's core competencies and strategic challenges. business, that is operational and human resource related and associated with the organization's overall sustainability. That is for a strategic focus, then how they are more inclined on getting that performance excellence. Gather and analyze relevant data and information pertaining to such factors as the organization's strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats, that is as SWOT, emerging trends in technology markets, customer preferences, competitions in the regulatory environment, long-term organizational sustainability, and the ability to execute strategic plans. We have around 3 slides for the key practice of strategic focus on performance excellence. This is to explore the goal of how the strategic development happens. Now the second slide, the slide 5 talks about the development on refined and systematic approach for conducting strategic planning and setting the objectives, including identifying blind spots and so on and so forth. Develop and align short-term action plans, very important in terms of strategic focus, with long-term strategic objectives. And the reason is to ensure adequate resources and ability to sustain outcomes, and thus simultaneous financial risk associated with the plans, and communicate them through the organization. Drive human resource. Every company's important backbone is the human resource for any strategic performance focus, that is, plans required to accomplish long-term strategic objectives and short-term action plans that address the potential impacts on the workforce and potential changes to workforce capability and capacity needs, and identifying key measures, indicators for tracking progress. Finally, how the strategic focus of performance excellence could happen with respect to project performance of these measures and compared with competitors or comparable organization to identify gaps and opportunities. Then finally, the determination and how a particular organization could understand and relate mission, competitor environment and objectives, view the work performed, and simultaneous decisions about the mix of internal and external work process that can be best achieve the organization's mission. So in all, you can just understand for your knowledge the key practices for a strategic focus on performance excellence for an organization. And in this particular way, here there is one more case of a quality profile of a company called Fries and Nicholas Inc., which is given in your textbook, which talks about the concept of hedgehog, the single thing that organizations aim to do well, be the best at client service, resulting in long-term mutually beneficial relationship or comprehensive year-long strategic planning process, and identifying key focus areas, indicators, critical actions, and balanced scorecard measures. Catch-ball process to cascade plans and divisional groups and individuals to ensure that resources are committed and agreed upon the particular way of how it goes in, with differences of committed strategies and implementation. Now, even there is one more company called Premier Inc., which is a healthcare alliance United States company having its own importance on quality profile for performance of strategic importances. So you can just check that also. These are very important cases. You should have a very good read and understand it. It will be making you more clear on those aspects, I would request you to please read these cases in your textbook. Now, strategy development. The goal of strategy development is envisioning the future for purpose of decision making and particularly resource allocation, that is, effective strategy development requires systematic processes that involves participation by necessary stakeholders, ensure that relevant and important data and information are captured and analyzed, addresses both short-term, long-term horizons, addresses key strategic challenges and leads to innovation and sustainability. You know, students, when we are talking here about strategy development, in any organization that is envisioning, I know some student might find this word very difficult, but let me tell you, envisioning is nothing but trying to have a vision for the future, that is, envisioning, seeing something for the next coming beyond for a decision making and allocating the resources means putting forth the resources for that strategy. So making long-term, short-term strategies and having challenges and innovative sustainability is strategy development. Now, strategic planning process, even before this I can tell you here the horizon what we are talking about is nothing but to develop a process of content of strategy development related to quality, which begins with determining the organization's mission, vision, and values, guiding principles, a fact based on environmental assessment that is needed to support a strategy development. This should include some important SWOT analysis among other factors also. And then to address this more importantly, you can understand through different strategic challenges or importance on how a particular company goes in with that. So here the similar thing I am trying to give you and make you understand what is a mission, vision, and then after the development of a strategy, how it takes in to those areas. Let me give you a clarity. This slide talks about process at a Eastern Chemical Company. I cannot read the textbook. I don't have the access where I can show you the textbook also. But if you read the text, this particular strategic planning process at Eastman Company, that is a chemical company, you will get a clarity of what we are talking about, a mission or a vision for that particular company's important development of strategic alternatives and overall strategy and how they took the initiatives and developed those projects and milestones to allocate resources and finalize annual plans and implement projects and review progress and performance and annual assess and then improve the planning process, and that's how major improvement of opportunities, that is MIO, happen with that company. And similarly there is another company case given in the textbook. This is what you can read the case of a strategic planning process. The company is Park Place Lexus, which is given in the textbook. That is how the client inputs, member inputs, competitive info, market analysis, and operational capabilities and opportunities and capabilities makes a mix for a particular strategic planning. As you can see in the flow diagram, ongoing to the market and environment, from here the Lexus direction, which talks about PPL planning, that is alignment and planning, which goes into a storage alignment. But before that, the important part of it is the corporate direction, that is mission and vision values of the company. Then we have the organizational action plans and the storing of those alignment and planning, which diversifies into two areas, that is key operation measures and targets, and there's action plans. If you read the case, you can understand those important, how they divided the department alignment and then went into four action plans and goals and then to the ongoing review and tracking. Now the mission, what is a mission? Now the mission, as I just told you in a revision, then what is a mission? To develop the process of content of a strategy development related to quality, which begins with the determining organization's mission, vision and values, that are the guiding principles. Now our mission is the mission of a firm defines its reason for existence. The answer to the question is, why are we in business? According to Fries and Nicholas, innovative approaches, practical results, outstanding service. Then Premier Inc., as I just told you, the company which we talked about to improve the health of communities. The benefits for their company was guides the development of strategies, establishes the content within which daily operation decisions are made, and sets limits on available strategies, governs the trade-offs among various performance measures and between short and long terms, inspires employees to focus their efforts towards the overall purpose of the organization. Now vision, as you must all know, be knowing, describes where the organization is headed and where it intends to be. It is a statement of the future that will not happen by itself. A good vision statement should be, in brief, focused, clear, and inspirational to an organizational employees. In the last two companies like Premier Inc. and the Frequent Nicholas, by what they have meant, it's been mentioned over here. Then the values and guiding principles for those two companies. If you focus here, the Premier Inc. here given were the Nicholas, Fries Nicholas or the Premier, but the values or guiding principles which talks about making a total quality for a strategic development or deployment, that is guide the journey to a vision by defining attitudes and policies for employees which are reinforced through conscious and subconscious behavior at all levels of the organization. Fries and Nicholas, we are ethical, we deliver quality, we are responsible, we add value, we improve continuously. We are innovative, we develop professional, we respect others, we give back to our communities, integrity to the individuals and enterprise. Similarly, the Premier has given on the focus, a passionate of performance and the focus on people. So you can read that in the under environment. I will stop here and I would like to come back to you in the next video, and that will take some time. So just read the slides and the textbook. I will be back with the next video within no time. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Stay safe.